yazi ngifundile ne kodwa hey isilungisa la naso like I need to like read the paragraph again. Hey, abo mutatis mutandis, abo footstoots, abo hereby, abo isn't this you guys? Welcome back to Chat with Tessa, guys. Once again, this is another video that forms part of the property series. Tessa has officially invested in property and she's finna go into the next property investment one by one. So I'm sharing my experience with you guys in the hopes that when you eventually start your property journey, these are things that you look out for. You'll be learning from my mistakes. You'll be, picking up a few tips here and there. And anyone that's watching that knows more than me, of course there's somebody who knows more than me. Please leave a comment. Give us some tips, On Chat with Tessa, we're learning from each other. I am no property expert. I've made quite a number of mistakes. And when I make those mistakes, I share them with you guys and I'm like, yo, I burnt here, I put a plaster, and then I blew it, and then now I'm comfortable enough to come and tell you what I did. In the hopes that you don't go and burn the same way. So, if you haven't already, go back and watch the last two videos where I spoke about having finished paying up my 10-year home loan in a space of 17 months and why the second home loan was declined. Hey, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. When everything that needs to be done in order to acquire the second property is done, I'll be here. I'll tell you guys. We're almost there. Let's pinch man. Let's cross our fingers. Tandazeni. Yeah, we're gonna get there. But today we are talking about OTP's offer to purchases. But first, click that subscribe button. It's for free. Subscriptions are free. Likes are also free, ne? Thank you, Nakensa. So in my life, I have signed 3 offer to purchases. I only have 1 property, but I've signed 3 offer to purchases in my life, okay? And today I'm here to tell you about what my experience has been with offer to purchases. What is it? And do not get yourself into the same type of hot water I got myself into with this one, the first one. An offer to purchase is a document that is legally binding. Just free-flowing paper. Legally binding, meaning that you can get yourself into serious trouble, serious hot water, lose money, all sorts of things if you do not read the T's and C's here, right? So it's a document that's legally binding that states that you are offering to purchase a particular property between party A and B. Maybe it might be 2 people that own this property and whatnot. So there needs to be a whole offer and the rules, clause, and all of that say, Uguti, this is how this purchase is gonna happen. You don't just identify your property and then you want to buy it and then you guys go to the police station and sign affidavits. That's not how it works. And you don't communicate word of mouth and be like, oh no, it's fine, I want to buy your house, just hold on to it for me, let me send you a deposit, here's 50,000, I'm giving it to you, so when I have the rest of the money, I'm gonna come back and buy this house from you. That is not legal. That person can even run away with the money. That affidavit means nothing. You need an offer to purchase. This is the only thing that is legally binding, and it's a very serious document, right? So before you sign this thing, you need to know what you're getting yourself into, because hey, the English in here. If you need help with understanding this document, consult a lawyer, pay for the consultation fee, and have them advise you and help you. Or read it with somebody else that you feel might understand this better. But don't skip through things and be like, Sobona Pambili. Initial, sign, and be done. Take this very seriously. So, I had a few experiences with each OTP, offer to purchase. The first offer to purchase, I almost lost a lot of money, which was 10% of the purchase price. Hey, and no, 10% of the total value of that property I had to pay as a deposit. Seemed normal, but also abnormal. Like, why must I pay a 10% deposit? Especially the part that stated that that deposit was non-refundable. Now, different banks were declining my home loan after evaluating the property. Okay? So, first, when they run the credit check and they want to see, can she really afford this home loan and all of that, things were fine. Tick, 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 tick. How? Provisionally approved. Oh, thank you. They're like, subject to property evaluation. I'm like, sure, guys, do what you gotta do, man. They get to the property, they evaluate the property. They're like, no. This, according to our criteria, qualifies as commercial property. Not, if it's not commercial, then it's what? Private property, no, normal property. I don't know what's the word, guys. But indlu a normal nje, like apartment or house that's normal nje. Hi, Bonabati, no, this falls under commercial property. I'm like, I must get a commercial property loan. What are you guys saying? Home loan declined. 3 banks declined. So now the 4th one, I was like, the chances are they are also going to decline. Now I'm sweating. I'm stressed. Now I'm mad at my mom now. I'm like, you put pressure on me to sign this document. I sat with this thing for a week and a half, pointing the same clause out to you that it is non-refundable. No, relax, babe. We're going to get this home loan. Here. You and this agent people and all of these things. You guys made me sign this thing. But I also had to take responsibility. I saw the clause, I was in doubt, but I still fell into that pressure and I signed, right? So, must take responsibility. I signed at the end of the day, right? But it was sinking in and dawning on me that I'm about to lose so much money. Money that I've saved, that I took and sent to these agents. 10% non-refundable. So sure that I'm going to get a home loan. Well, I was approved, but when they evaluated the property, they were like, "Yeah, madam, no. Ceci, you must apply for a commercial property loan." Like, lendlu commercial property kanjani? How? Hi, but people when they buy property, they'll extend the property, add rooms and do all sorts of things. And then now, when they want to sell, a lot of people are, the house, when it's being evaluated by the bank, it's a decline because the bank is now saying, nah, this set up, the way this house has been built, set up and structured, it falls under commercial property now. Then they decline people's home loans. So, luckily, the last bank, when they did their evaluation, which they took their time, and I was getting very anxious. I was like, oh, I'm about to lose money. But they came back and they said, green light, it's okay, we'll give you the money. So, I was very lucky. But that could have not happened. What if it didn't happen? What if they didn't approve my loan after the evaluation? So, when you get that pre-approval, no, hold on, sit back. They still need to evaluate the property and see if they're willing to grant you that loan. I don't know what sort of criteria or things that they look for when they're evaluating the property. But yeah, that last bank here, they saved my life because I was like, how can I lose all this money? So this is a very important document that states 3 very important things. The parties involved, like the seller, you, the agent, okay? The property, it describes the property partly what condition it's in, the address, ERF number, and all of that, right? And the last P is the price, okay? How much the property is, what things are you paying for? And if you default on this agreement, what does it mean? Okay, now you need to understand all of these things. And if you don't understand, you need someone to help you with reading it. So that's the one thing that in this particular OTP, I was like, 10%? Don't pay, guys, don't do that. Do not pay any deposit because you don't know if the bank is going to approve your loan. Unless when you already have the money. But I'm not a fan of paying deposits anymore, and I will never do that again, ever. So do not pay a deposit. Rather, sign something. Hey, not even this one was good. The one that's in my PC, that one was a good offer to purchase. I didn't have any questions about that one. I was like, it's fine, because it clearly stated that the OTP was subject to me acquiring a loan from the bank. Okay, the wording was better than what I'm saying. A loan from the bank within the space of 30 days of a minimum amount of the actual value of this property, what it's going for, right? So that means that if I don't get a loan, if I don't qualify for a home loan, that this forfeits, this OTP, we forfeited. It's like, guys, ngizamile, this is the letter from the bank. They say that they've declined me, I don't qualify. That's it. Mara lena ge, this first one, if I came back with the same news, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, but you're not getting your 10% back. All right. Now the second one, this OTP, the things that stood out for me here was that they were being so smart. I'm like, who told you guys, Gutimina, I have half the price? Imagine this house was like 1.5 mil, ne? But Mina, I'm gonna pay 750 of that cash, and then the other 750 will be paid via a bank loan. I'm like, no. That's not true. That is not true. Where do I have 750,000? No. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll change that. So if I was being oblivious, I would have just closed my, hey, isn't this gaga? Initial, sign and send. And then now I am officially bound by this thing. And they can claim damages. You can come back and be like, I didn't qualify. Oh, okay, you didn't qualify. Can you send us the letter from the bank that shows that you were declined for a home loan? So those sort of things, right? Now, other things that you should consider before you sign your offer to purchase is, don't rely on the pictures that you've just seen online about this property. Please, don't do that. Go and see the property. The same way that if you were to buy a car, you'll get your uncle, your father, your aunt, your mom who have cars or are mechanics, and you will go and check out the second-hand car with them so that they can sort of tell you that, hey, this sound is indicative of this and this and this and this. Do the same with property. Go with someone that has experience, right? Or go with someone that is good with electricity and plumbing and all sorts of things, so that when you go there, they'll be able to identify things that you might not be able to see. My property, even the one that we are about to purchase, I have not seen them, but my parents are in South Africa and I trust them because they have experience with property, right? They can look at something and be like, hey, the walls are wet. Why are the walls like this? Why is there a leak here on this pavement? Why is this like this? Why is that like that? They'll be able to ask these things and request for certain things to be fixed before actually signing this OTP, or adding it actually as a special condition in the offer to purchase, right? So you can add certain things into the offer to purchase that can suit your requirements. It's not all about the seller and the agent and what they want. At the end of the day, they want your money. The power lies in your hands, okay? And not a lot of people can qualify for a home loan or property and all of that. When it comes to qualifying for other things like my accounts, it's very easy. But when it comes to property, it's something that's more serious, and the bank is not so willy-nilly with their money with regards to that. So if you're a person who's got a great credit score and you have high chances of qualifying and all of that, the ball is in your court. So if there's something that you don't agree with in these OTPs, write down your suggestions for amendments, and you can ask your lawyer friends to help you with this. But please pay your lawyer friends. Don't be like, I know a lawyer friend who can help me. Pay them for their knowledge, right? So go there with someone and ensure that you check out the property and faults that could later on have you now take out so much money from your pocket to fix. We had a lot of plumbing problems that needed to be fixed in the early stages of having moved in some tenants into the property. It cost a lot of money, and I think it's things that my mom did identify, but she probably didn't tell me, and she just thought, you know what, we will make the money and it will pay itself off, and ada. Right. Another thing is tenants. Sellers might not necessarily be staying on the property that you're buying and might have tenants, and they might actually want to hand over their tenants to you or not do the necessary work to get them out and be like, oh, you also get tenants. Don't get too overly excited about that, because you might actually be taking over tenants that are bad payers, or the landlord or the seller is actually trying to run away from these terrible tenants. So rather have your own tenants that you can maybe build a rapport with and run certain credit checks and all of these things that you can do before you accept tenants. And I would like to say shout out to my Instagram friend Rodney for those tips about tenants. And actually, you know what, in your offer to purchase, that can be a special condition that you actually don't want anyone to be occupying the property. You don't want those tenants on the property when you move in. So if some of these things are actually not in the offer to purchase, you can have an addendum, right? An addendum is any changes to the conditions of the sale. For example, with my first offer to purchase, right? Remember, I was in hot water. Why? Because the banks were declining. I was running out of time. I had 30 days to get this money, and my time is running out, and I don't want to lose the 10% deposit that I've paid, right? So what I did was I spoke to the seller. I was like, okay, I'm going to go directly to the seller. I asked the seller if they can extend this time for me. But now, you don't send a message on WeChat, in South Africa, WhatsApp. You don't send a message on WhatsApp or send an SMS or send an email. No, you have to have an addendum that's signed by every party involved, right? So in this addendum, they changed the date and they gave me extra time. So I think they gave me an extra 2 weeks to get the money in order. And after that, I was like, phew. But every single day was so important to me because I was so scared that I was going to surpass that 2 weeks as well before I get an approval from a bank. So any changes that happen in your offer to purchase, there needs to be an addendum that's drafted by the lawyers, right? And every party involved must sign that addendum. So if there's anything in your offer to purchase that you're not happy with, that you'd like to be changed, get an addendum done. Or if there's something that you don't agree to, I think you can actually literally cancel it out and sign next to where you've crossed out things and stuff. And then you can discuss with the seller and the agent about certain things, right? So what are the takeaways here? The takeaways here are, number one, the biggest takeaway. The biggest takeaway out of all of this is that, I don't have my takeaways journal. It's in my mind. The biggest takeaway is that read and read and read. Read before you sign. Read before you sign. And if you're finding it difficult to understand this document, of which I understand, it is written in legal English, yeah, PhD, English yeah, master's degree, English yeah, law, BA in law. I went to a private school, Mara. Anyway, no, I understood it, but you know, some things you must read them like guy 5 before you get them. So get somebody to help you understand this before you sign. Don't just sign. Number 2, don't pay any deposit unless the bank has approved your loan and they've done the evaluation and all of that. But do not sign a deposit. Do not sign anything that requires you to pay a deposit beforehand that is non-refundable. You don't want to find yourself in my situation. I'm just lucky that the bank approved. We had an addendum, extended the time. They gave me 2 more weeks. Okay, sharp. They were kind enough. Some people might not even do that, right? Okay, number 3, yeah. Make sure if there's anything that you feel you want it cancelled or you want it added onto the offer to purchase, do that. Get the addendum done. Don't just send a WhatsApp message or an email. There must be a letter that is signed that states that, okay, this condition has now been added or altered or adjusted. Now, this is the next takeaway. Before you sign the offer to purchase, go with someone to go and view the property. Somebody who has experience, somebody that will be able to identify things that you might not be able to see as a first-time home buyer or whatever, right? And take your time, take your time with it, and approach as many banks as you can during this time when you're applying for your home loan. And if you have a deposit, that's great. But essentially about the offer to purchase is that you need to understand what is included here. If you can, maybe actually have your own offer to purchase. And I think that's something that I'm actually going to look into, because I feel like I'm going to be acquiring properties and I can actually have my own offer to purchase that's drafted and ready, and I can be the one to give them my conditions. And if there are any conditions that they'd like to add that are, reasonable, then we can amend. I hope that you were able to take away something very useful from this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share the video with somebody that it will help. Thank you, Chat with Disa community.